All right, guys. So Madison Cawthorn. This story came out a few days ago, and it was big online, unsurprisingly. So Madison Cawthorn, this is in Politico, exclusive. Madison Cawthorn reveals photos. Madison Cawthorn photos reveal him wearing women's lingerie in public setting. The embattled congressman has outraged Republican colleagues with accusations of orgies and drug use. Interesting. So, let's go through some of this. Photographs obtained by Politico appear to show Madison Cawthorn, the embattled Republican congressman from North Carolina who recently accused his GOP colleagues of inviting him to orgies, wearing lingerie in what appears to be a party setting. Cawthorn, 26, was raised in a conservative Baptist community in Henderson County, North Carolina, and has staked his political persona on arch-traditional, Christian principles and the insistence of the importance of a kind of hyper-masculinity. His comments about the sexual perversion in Washington made on a podcast, which he later admitted were exaggerated, drew the public disapproval and disavowal of Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, as well as other Republican leaders, including those in his North Carolina congressional caucus. The revelation of the two photos is the latest in a series of unflattering headlines for the freshman member of Congress in the run-up to the primary in his first re-election bid. The primary in North Carolina is May 17th. Cawthorn has 7 Republican opponents who see him as vulnerable. Cawthorn, who was paralyzed from the waist down as a passenger in a car accident in Florida in 2014, in recent months has called Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky a thug, suggested teetotaling Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi has a drinking problem, and racked up a collection of traffic transgressions, including speeding, driving with expired tags, and driving with a revoked license. He has court dates in May and June. Okay, I don't know why this whole paragraph, look, I'm not a fan of Madison Cawthorn, but this has nothing to do with the story. This is just we don't like him, and here's a bunch of things that we don't like about him. So, unnecessary. It's very transparent what they're doing. But, fuck Madison Cawthorn. Anyway, Politico could not independently verify the photos. I don't know why they say that. That's obviously him. Why would you say that? Man, corporate media is weird. They were provided to Politico by a person formerly close to Cawthorn and his campaign. A second person formerly close to Cawthorn and his campaign confirmed the origin of the photos. The date the photos were taken is unclear, though they appear to show Cawthorn sitting in a wheelchair, indicating the event happened after his accident. In the photos, he's wearing a distinctive pendant necklace that has appeared in other images and videos of Cawthorn. The photos have started to circulate among political rivals. Cawthorn spokesman Luke Ball did not respond to multiple requests for comment. After the story published, Cawthorn tweeted that the photos were taken of him during a game on a cruise before he was elected to Congress. I guess the left thinks goofy vacation photos during a game on a cruise, taken way before I ran for Congress, is going to somehow hurt me? They're running out of things to throw at me. Share your most embarrassing vacay pics in the replies. Okay, come on, bro. Come on, dude. The guy has one trick. The left is bad, and the left is bad. The left is bad. Thanks, bro. Nice original thought. It's not really boring and really stale and really pathetic. Anyway, so look. So here's the thing. I don't care that he did this, right? It's not an issue. It's not really a scandal. I could not care any less. But the point that does bear repeating is he's a hypocrite. Of course he's a hypocrite, I'm sure he has nothing but scorn and derision and finger wagging for gay people, for trans people, for anybody or anything that he considers outside of the norm, which would be deviant. And then here he is cross-dressing. So it's maybe don't be super judgy of other people, and then when it's you, be like, this is nothing, bro. I don't even know what you're talking about. The left is bad. Have I mentioned the left is bad? He says, I was raised on Proverbs and push-ups. Shut up, Cawthorn said in a podcast in September 2020. I think one of the things that annoys me the most is people who try to latch on to specific archetypes. And that's what Cawthorn is. He's I'm the Christian conservative guy who's super masculine. That's what I am. And it's why would you look at some sort of archetype and just sign your whole identity onto it? Don't you want to be a unique individual who has independent thoughts? And the answer is no, he doesn't. He wants to portray himself a very specific way to the world, a very scripted way to the world. Quote, I subscribe to Judeo-Christian beliefs, he continued. I have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. What does that mean, bro? What does that mean? See, what, you talk to him at night? Does he talk back? Because if he talks back, that might be paranoid schizophrenia. If you just talk to him, that's religious, but also, look, that's... I don't know what you want me to tell you. In any other context, people would say, that's kind of weird. If somebody was like, I talk to Zeus, we'd be like, what? I talked to this wizard dude. It's really cool. People be like, what? But for whatever reason, when it's the majority religion in the country, people are like, oh yeah, it's totally normal. I think if you think about my political ideology, where it really stems from, my ethics and my morals and what I think is right and wrong, you look to ancient Jerusalem. Yeah, they really had it all figured out back then. You got ancient Judeo-Christian values. So right and wrong, he continued. I also cling to a lot of traditional values and a lot of traditional ideas because they've worked in the past. I never understood social conservatives. Like, how can you look at the way things work and just say, they gotta be good, because it's how they work right now? That makes no sense. Like, you don't think things can be improved upon in one way or another? And look, the fact of the matter is, this guy, it's all posturing, it's all posing, it's all virtue signaling. There he is cross-dressing, and then he's like, I'm a traditional guy myself. It's like when Caitlyn Jenner, she's of course trans, and she's like, I'm a bit of a traditionalist, or whatever she said. It's like, you can't, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. I think we have bred a generation of soft men. And that generation has created a lot of problems in our society and our culture, he said in March 2021. This is Culture War Tripe on a podcast designed to reclaim and restore masculinity in a society that is even more dismissive of what it means to be a man. There's only one God and two genders, he said in a tweet earlier this week. I hate the hyper-culture war-focused idiots. I really do. They bother me so much. There are so many real problems that we're dealing with. Whether it's the deep entrenched systemic corruption from corporations and billionaires and oligarchs, where all of our laws and rules are rigged in favor of the rich and screw working people. There's massive income and wealth inequality. There's climate change. The list goes on and on of the real problems. We don't even have universal health care in this country. There was a public citizen study which found that 330,000 Americans could have survived if we just had universal health care. They could have survived COVID. 330,000 lives dead because we don't have universal health care. And this guy's like, manly men need to make a comeback, bro. That's the problem in this country. We don't have enough manly men. Well, Madison, I hope you consider yourself part of the problem, because certainly by your definitions, this is not exactly a manly man thing to do. Now, look, again, I want to reiterate. This isn't a scandal. I don't care. He could dress however he wants to dress, whenever he wants to dress that way. But reel it in on the finger wagging and the virtue signaling and the I'm Christian conservative traditionalist and finger wagging at everybody else when you got this stuff in your closet. Now, by the way, let me just say, this is not the only time he did that shit. It's not. It's not the only time he did that shit. You don't just do this once. Ask Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder, who's, super judgy of trans people, and every opportunity he gets, he's like, I need to dress like a woman. And he does. And he does these skits dressed like a woman. He's like, tee-hee-hee, isn't it funny? I'm being a woman. I guarantee you Madison Cawthorn has dressed like this a number of other times. He looks for excuses and reasons to dress like this. There's something about that taboo thing, man. There really is. Where, in his mind, like they said, he was raised in a very religious environment. When you're told from when you're young, don't do this, don't do that, that's really bad, you're not allowed to do that, then you start to fetishize that thing. And you're like, oh, why can I not do that? Maybe I should try that. What if I did it just a little bit? And it's the classic, you want what you can't have type thing. And I think homeboy got curious. Homeboy got curious. So anyway, there's the non-scandal scandal. Stop judging other people, you goofball, and stop right-wing virtue signaling because you look like an idiot. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.